My friend, have you ever felt it? That invisible wall that seems to materialize out of nowhere, right when you're about to take a leap, to step into something truly significant, something your soul has been yearning for? You're fired up, you see the vision, you take that first courageous step, and then, bam, obstacles, one after another, and suddenly your energy drains, your inspiration fades like morning mist, and that old familiar whisper creeps in. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should just quit. Does this sound familiar? That feeling of running on a treadmill, caught in the whirlwind of daily tasks, desperately trying to carve out just a moment for what truly nourishes your spirit, for your inner growth, for serving something bigger than yourself. We wake up each morning, don't we, filled with hope, with plans, with a desire to live this day with purpose, with meaning. We're not just aiming for the mechanical completion of a to-do list. We long for every action, whether it's a quiet moment of reflection, a creative pursuit, an act of kindness, or even a simple household chore, to be infused with the light of our truest selves. We want our lives to be more than just a sequence of events. We want them to be a song, a symphony, where every note resonates in harmony with the eternal. But how often is that symphony jarringly interrupted by harsh, discordant notes? How often do our best intentions shatter against the rocks of daily life? Our own scattered focus, our procrastination, or, even more insidiously, those subtle, almost invisible threads of self-sabotage. We've been conditioned to think that the main enemies of our growth and happiness are external: a lack of time, a shortage of money, a deficit of understanding from those around us. We point fingers at the economy, the weather, the injustices of the world. But what if I told you that our most skillful and relentless adversary, the one who sets the most cunning traps on our path, isn't something out there? What if this adversary resides much closer than we imagine, dwelling within us, in the quiet eddies of our subconscious, in our habitual thought patterns, in the subtle vibrations of our untamed emotions? Here it is, the profound truth that so often eludes us. There exists a subtle, almost imperceptible force, an unseen conductor of our setbacks, that activates whenever we step onto the path of light, the path of awareness and transformation. Call it the ego, the inner critic, the shadow, or as ancient wisdom traditions might name it, a tempter. The essence is the same. This force is never idle. It knows our weaknesses, our fears, our secret attachments, and it uses them with the skill of a master illusionist to divert us, to make us doubt, to force a retreat, to steer us off course. Look at how it operates. This internal saboteur isn't crude or direct. Oh no, it's a master of disguise. It attacks right at the launch pad, just as you're conceiving of something bright, something that will lead to your expansion. It whispers, "Is it really worth it? Can you actually pull this off? You've tried before, and look where that got you." Maybe later, when you have more time, more energy, more inspiration. And just like that, a beautiful intention, barely born, wilts under this barrage of doubt, never even getting a chance to bloom. Sound familiar? If, however, you grit your teeth, gather your will, and actually start, it doesn't give up. It will try to ensure your flight is short-lived. Sudden, urgent tasks, unexpected calls, distracting messages, an inner restlessness that pulls your focus away, making you switch tasks, lose momentum. And soon enough, what you started lies abandoned, and you're left with a bitter taste of guilt and disappointment. But that's not all. Let's say you show persistence, you continue on your path despite the interference. Then this invisible opponent changes tactics. It strives to make the very execution of your task a torment, to strip it of joy, to extinguish that divine spark that was the whole point. It might inject perfectionism, causing you to endlessly revise, to doubt the quality, to compare yourself unfavorably to others. Or conversely, it might instill carelessness, a rushed desire to just get it over with, thereby robbing your work of depth and meaning. And even if you overcome all this, even if you bring your endeavor to completion, achieve your result, be warned, the trap can still spring. This cunning adversary will try to steal all the true value of your labor in the eyes of the eternal. How? Very simply, it will inflate your vanity, your pride, your self-admiration. Look at me, I'm amazing, I did that so well. No one else could have done it. And instead of humble gratitude and the joy of contributing to something larger, a poisonous flower of self-congratulation blooms in your soul, instantly devaluing all your efforts before that higher truth you were striving for. Wise teachers from ages past, like the insightful St. John Climacus, spoke of these three pits that this inner adversary digs for us. First, it fights to prevent us from starting a good deed. Second, if we do begin, it tries to ensure that what is done is not from a pure heart, not for a higher purpose, but for something else. Personal gain, fame, self-affirmation. And third, if it fails in this too, it silently creeps up and begins to flatter us, to praise us, instilling the idea of our own specialness and holiness. The real battle, my friend, unfolds not on external fronts, but in the depths of our hearts, in the arena of our consciousness. So how do we counter this? How do we avoid being deceived, avoid falling into these skillfully laid snares? There are several keys, several principles that if you make them a part of your life, will become your steadfast shield and sword. The first step, or rather, the first principle, is to ignite within yourself an unquenchable fire of true intention. This is that sacred spark that arises when you connect with your deepest why. Why are you doing this? For what greater purpose? When your intention is pure, when it's aimed not at satisfying the ego, but at serving the light, at the growth of your soul, at bringing benefit to the world, this fire becomes so bright that the shadows of doubt and fear simply dissipate. Remember your ultimate goal, what truly matters, and this will give you the strength to overcome initial resistance. Imagine someone who decides to start each morning with meditation. The inner voice immediately whispers, "You're too tired, just 5 more minutes, it won't make a difference." But if their intention is to find inner peace and clarity to be a better parent, a more compassionate friend, they'll find the strength to rise. The second principle is the art of small wins and humble learning. Stop chasing a grand, immediate result. This internal saboteur loves overwhelming plans because they are the easiest to derail, leaving you feeling crushed and inadequate. Start small, but do it consistently and with full commitment. And be prepared to learn. Be ready for the fact that not everything will work out srazu. Humility isn't self-deprecation. It's a sober view of yourself, understanding that you are a student on this great journey of life. If you're writing a book, don't immediately think about a bestseller. Write 1 page today, but do it with love. This is a small victory that will strengthen you. The third key is constant, ruthless, but loving honesty with yourself. This means tracking the true motives behind your actions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? For whom? What do I really want to get out of it? Don't be afraid to look into the darkest corners of your soul. It's there that the roots of vanity and self-deception hide. By recognizing them, you strip them of their power over you. It's like a continuous internal inventory. If you help someone, ask yourself, did you do it out of pure compassion, or was there a hidden desire for praise, recognition, to feel like a good person? An honest answer, even if uncomfortable, is already a step towards healing. And finally, the fourth pillar of your unshakable inner fortress is deep, total acceptance of what is. This isn't passivity, oh no. It's a wise understanding that everything happening is part of a larger, divine design, even if it's not clear to you right now. Remember those examples from the wise ones? A person is sick and begins to torment themselves with thoughts. Oh, if only I were healthy, I would do so much for God and for people. I'd go to church, write books, have soul-saving conversations. And so instead of patiently accepting their illness as an opportunity for inner growth, for purification, they begin to complain, to get irritated, to see the illness as an enemy. And the internal saboteur rejoices. It has stolen their peace, distracted them from the main thing, living the present moment with dignity and faith. In the same way, a person facing financial hardship might torment themselves. If I had money, I would do such good deeds, I would help so many. And instead of finding ways to serve the world with what they have now, a kind word, empathy, prayer, they sink into envy and despondency. Or someone on a path of service, perhaps in a dedicated community or under a mentor, suddenly starts thinking, oh, if I went into solitude, into a retreat, there I would achieve true perfection. They leave, but in isolation, they fall into even greater neglect and lose what they had. And another, conversely, rushes from solitude into bustling activity, thinking they will be more useful there, but immersed in the hustle, loses inner peace and accomplishes nothing truly valuable. Do you see how subtly this mechanism works? It always paints a more attractive picture for us over there, in some other place, under different circumstances, so that we devalue what we have here and now. But true wisdom is to bloom where you are planted. If the circumstances of your life, illness, financial struggle, a particular role, are sent to you, not by your own will, accept them with gratitude as a field for your spiritual practice. Your task in this case is not to dream of something else, but to manifest the best qualities of your soul precisely in these conditions: patience, faith, love, courage. Believe me, this is the greatest work you can do. The universe, God, Spirit, when sending you a challenge, expects nothing from you but that you navigate it with integrity, using the opportunities it opens. One who patiently bears their burden is in a continuous state of good doing, whereas for an active person, good deeds might only be sporadic. Why then would you wish to trade the better for the worse? If, however, your current situation is the result of your own choice, you chose this job, this family, this path, then trust your initial decision, likely made with some deliberation. Don't let your thoughts wander through fruitless what-ifs. Concentrate on what is, on the tasks before you right now. And do your work with full dedication, consecrating it not to your ego, but to the highest. Then every day, every action will be filled with meaning and become a precious offering, pleasing to that power that guides you. Don't be afraid of these inner temptations, these subtle traps. Now you know about them, and knowledge is already half the victory. Be attentive to yourself, to your thoughts, feelings, motives. Keep in mind the one true compass, the aspiration in everything to please not your small self, but that great, eternal, divine essence that is within you and around you. And life itself will become your best teacher. It will teach you to see and recognize all the machinations of the internal saboteur. Your path is unique. Your strength is within. Don't let anyone or anything, especially that cunning inner voice, knock you off course. Every day is a new opportunity for growth, for a small victory over yourself, for one more step towards the light. What will you start today? What small trap of your mind will you recognize and disarm? What simple action, filled with pure intention, will you take right now? And remember, you are not alone on this path. A higher power, the universe, God, call it what you will, is always on your side when you walk the path of the heart, the path of truth. Open yourself to this support, trust in it, and you will see how walls crumble before you and gates open into a new reality, filled with light and meaning. Go forward, my friend, towards your true magnificence.